some core strength, and some full body strength work. So weights, grab them if you've got them. This is for home, right? Again, we're super heavy with our weights. I've got some dumbbells here. I've got some kettlebells. Join me. Do what you can, modify as needed. I am a physical therapist as well as a strength coach, yogi, etc. So again, listen to your body, modify. I'm gonna give you guys some injury prevention tips, cues. If you're rehabbing some stuff, just be mindful of your posture, alignment, breath control. Keep that lower back staying nice and healthy. So we're gonna start off in standing with a little bit of an easy yoga warm up. We're gonna take it down onto the mat, a little bit of core work, got our standing strength. We'll do a little bit of squats and deadlifts, 30 minutes, that's it. Subscribe to the channel, join me live every week. Subscribe, you'll get notifications of live class. I host them every week. Join me if you want. All right, let's get started. Come to the back of your mat. Again, grab some weights. You're gonna need them for class today. I'll show you different options, different levels. It's for all levels. Let's just start off with a nice, easy warm up, just opening, giving our spine some length, getting things moving. If you're feeling tight, stuck, stiff anywhere, reach to the sky. Think about crown of the head to the ceiling. Tuck the chin in, ears over shoulders, focusing on this nice alignment and posture. Start off our week nice. Inhale, reach to the sky. Root your feet into the ground. And then exhale, forward fold, bring the arms all the way down, shake it out, release any tension anywhere. Knees are soft, give your lower back. This should just feel like a nice stretch, right? Just easy, mellow. Hold it here for one breath. We're gonna do 3 rounds of this easy yoga warm-up. Then we're gonna get into the strength. Take one more breath here. Just kind of checking in with our body. That's really kind of part of what we're doing with our warm-up. And then inhale, halfway lift, flat back. This is your hinge. This is your hip hinge. If we're gonna do deadlifts, this is it. Hinging at the hips. Abs are braced. Straighten out the knees if you want. Get a nice little hamstring stretch. Hold for one breath. Chin is tucked. Abs are on. And then bring your hands down, step back into plank. We'll do a little bit of planks, maybe today, not a ton, but if you're at home doing workouts, planks are a great way to work your upper body as well as your core, right? Planks are great. Hold it here for one breath. Spread your fingers wide, push away from the mat, solid, strong shoulders, one breath. And then bring your knees down, slowly lower chaturanga, elbows close to your sides. Again, easy, mellow. You don't need to be great at yoga to get some benefit from a nice little easy yoga sequence. Inhale up, little baby cobra. Nice spine extension. This should feel good on the back. Pull the shoulder blades down your back. Engage your lats. This can help support. Stabilize your lower back. One breath here. Exhale back down. Uncurl your toes. Push yourself back. Downward facing dog. That's the whole flow. That is our sun salutation, a warm-up. Easy, simple. Stretch your calf. Pedal your ankles out. I love downward dog. It's great for my cyclists, my runners. Anybody who's got a tight calf, right? Nice, easy way to kind of get things moving, some ankle mobility. Pedal those feet. Let's go through that series again. Walk your hands back to your feet when you're ready. Round 2, let's do it. Rolling up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Articulate through your whole spine. Get that whole spine moving. Joints need to be supple, lubricated, mobile. We're not just doing strength here, we want some mobility. Inhale, reach to the sky. Round 2, crown of the head to the ceiling. Tuck the chin and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the arms all the way down. Shake it out. Release tension. Knees are soft. Hang out here. This should just feel nice on the back. Nice, easy stretch. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, straighten out the knees. Round 2, here we go. Nice hip hinge, deadlifts coming up next. Hold it here. Abs are on. And then hands come down, step back into plank. Strong plank, tall plank. If you ever need to modify, you can't do planks or whatever, wrists, please modify. This class is for you. I'm just guiding you. Hold it here. Push away from the mat. And then you can come down knees or you can come all the way down, really working on that upper body strength. Challenge yourself. The only way you get stronger with push-ups is by working on your push-ups. So we're gonna finish with a little bit of push-ups, just FYI. But again, coming down into that chaturanga, nice way to work on a little bit of that push-up strength, right? Lowering yourself down. A little upper body chest work here. Hold it here if you're coming all the way up. This should just feel nice, right? You can keep it lower, but if you wanna come all the way up, make sure your abs are on just a little bit. Protect that lower back. This should feel like a nice stretch. It shouldn't feel like it's pinching into that lower back. So I want you to think about pulling the shoulder blades down out of your ears. Engage your lats. That's gonna help to support that lower back. You wanna do that same thing when we get to our squat and our deadlift, right? Work on that now. Here, not here, here, right? And then exhale, lower yourself back down. Push yourself back, downward facing dog. One more round just like this. And then we're gonna get into last little bit of our warm up. I did say we're gonna do push-ups. We are. That's the last little bit of our warm up. And then we'll get into some squats, some deadlifts, some core, and that's it. 30 minutes, we've got a lot to do in a short amount of time. Walk your hands back to your feet. rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Last time through, let's speed through it. Let's get into it. We've got push-ups to finalize our warm-up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe out through the mouth. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. This should feel nice. Get things moving, right? You can always modify this. I'm doing my basic Sun Sal A sequence. If you want to modify, add something else in. It's your class, your body. You got to figure out what feels right to you. Lowering. Last up dog or cobra, spine extension. Enjoy this. Should feel good. And then push yourself back, downward facing dog. We're moving on. So let's finish out our warm-up. We're going to do a little bit of an inchworm and walk out into a plank. Now, why I like this is you're going to walk yourself back, here. I want you to step wide. Give yourself some nice wide. So I'm going to step like the width of my mat, because when I come down into my inchworm, what I want to have happen is I want to give my hips some space so that I can walk out, right? Now, if your hips are tight and you get down here, you're going to kind of look like this guy, like all hunched over. So widen your stance. Give your hips some room if you're tight. Then you're going to walk out into your plank. We're just finishing our warm-up here, right? So I'm going to walk back, come into standing, inhale, reach, give myself a nice wide stance, and then walking on, keeping my back flat, right out here. If you want to add push-up, you can add that in, all right? I'm going to move that weight so I don't smack myself in the head. But that's your add-on. So if you want to add the push-ups, you can. If you just want to do plank, or if you want to finish out your warm-up with something else, totally fine. I always suggest do one. Humor me. Practice your push-ups, right? The only way we get stronger with our push-ups is we do more push-ups, right? Let's just do two more just like this. Just getting into the hips, getting deep, opening up those hips, a little bit of upper body, a little bit of core with our plank, maybe a little bit of chest, triceps with our push-up. Last time. Let's just do one more. Whatever version you're doing. All right, so if you got weights, you need to grab them. If you don't have weights, you can kind of follow along, but ideally, weights is best. You don't need super heavy. We're gonna go for some lighter weights because that's all I have at home. For most people, that's all they have. Higher reps. I'm gonna grab my dumbbells. You can do dumbbells or kettlebells. Let's start with our basic squat pattern. So again, I'm gonna do a back-loaded squat. So you've got a lot of options. So if you need to kind of have your stance a little bit wider because you've got those tight hips, take a nice wide stance, right? So we've got options. Again, if you've got two dumbbells, I like them at your sides. But I'm gonna show you some options. So I'm gonna sit back into my squat. My toes need to stay planted. So start with your basic squat. And if you like this position better, this front rack position, for some people, especially with those tight ankles, you can't get that low, this kind of centers them a little bit better. Your last option, if you've got your kettlebell, is you can do your goblet squat, right? Here, here. If you've got one weight at your chest, at your center, same thing applies. Doesn't matter what squat you're doing. We all are different. We're all built differently. So some of us are gonna need a wider stance. Some of us are gonna need the toes turned out. You gotta do what's right for you. I want you to think with this squat, again, as I pulled the kettlebell, my goblet squat, squeezing my shoulder blades back. So we start up that warm up. We're gonna do about 12 to 15 reps. We got light weights, we're on a little bit higher reps today. So finish up here, and then we're gonna superset that with a little bit of a row. So we're gonna do our gorilla row. I'll show you how that looks coming up next. Let's just do two more. Whatever version of squat you're doing, sitting back. One more. All right, my gorilla row, if I've got my two dumbbells or my kettlebells, whatever, I'm gonna hinge at the hips. I'm here, and then I'm gonna do my row. Right, now you can do one arm at a time. My abs are braced, or you can alternate, or if you got one dumbbell in each hand. Right, so we're just gonna superset our squat with our row. Simple. You do not need complexity to get strength in a full body program, right? So if your goal is, hey, I only have weights at home, what can I do, Dara? Or I only have two 10 pounds or two 15 pounds. You can absolutely build strength. Eventually, if you're really doing this consistency, you're probably gonna need to go heavier weights, maybe get some heavier weights. But if you haven't been doing stuff in a while and you got some 10s, some 20s, whatever, you add in full body strength, you just need to add in enough volume in the week, meaning I'm gonna add enough sets and reps. So I'm doing longer sets. We got our rep scheme is about 12 to 15. Why? Because we don't really have that heavy. So we have to. Right, so I'm gonna do a little bit of my gorilla rows. You can decide, again, you don't need to alternate arms. I'm just giving you guys some ideas. You can just do 12 on one side, burn it out, here, and then here. We're gonna come back into our squat after this. Last few. Again, hope you're counting. And then we're gonna come back into that squat pattern again. Pick your squat pattern. All right. Round 2 of squats, we've got 3 rounds of squats, so figure it out, whichever squat you wanna do. I'm gonna give you a side view. Again, if I've got my goblet squat, it's here close to my chest, squeezing back, right? I said shoulders down and back. That needs to happen. Eyes are looking forward or a little bit below the horizon. I'm sitting back into my squat. One other thing that I will suggest is you need to keep your toes planted, no toes lifting. You need full contact with your toes. So round 2, we've got 3 rounds. Then we've got our deadlift. We're finished with a little bit of core. That's it for today. You can get a lot done in 30 minutes. A little bit of core, a little bit of mobility, a little bit of full body strength. Again, higher rep scheme. So you count, you decide. I'm gonna do sets of 12, I'm gonna do sets of 15. So we're just supersetting, meaning going from a little bit of our squat, lower body pattern, to a little bit of our upper body pull. You can mix and match however you want. We're just doing that for mostly sake of time. Let's do 2 more just like this. You do not need to superset, but if you're short on time, easier way to get some things in. Round 2, I'm gonna do my alternating dumbbell, gorilla row. Again, I'm gonna hinge, hips are back, pull. So alternating. Some of this is gonna depend on the weights that you have. If your back doesn't like this position, some people it just kind of starts to get a little fatiguing. You can also do your bent over row. So I'm gonna give you that option. You always have options. And again, a lot of this is gonna depend on what weights you have, if you have dumbbells versus kettlebells, etc. And kind of what you're working with. If you've got any injuries, so on and so forth. But I would suggest to anybody, if you don't have any weights, at least get some for home, even if you have a gym, right? I have a gym. Still good to have some stuff at home, supplement. And if you don't have some stuff at home, get some weights. And then again, eventually you're gonna have to go up in the weights, right? If you're really on a consistent program where you're progressively overloading, you're doing, you know, I've got my 3 sets of 12, whatever, with my 10 pounders. Yeah, you can add more reps, but eventually you're probably gonna need heavier. You are gonna outgrow it. So let's do our last set of squat, and we'll get into our hinge pattern. So we've got a squat, we've got a hinge, we've got a row, we've got a press. That's it. It's a very short upper and lower body program, but that's full. All right, last time squats. Again, back-loaded squat. I'm gonna give you a front view just so you have an idea. Pull the shoulder blades back. You've got many options for your squat position. Right, this is a back squat, so I'm sitting back, up and down into my squat. Toes are planted, eyes looking forward, chest is open. A lot of little things to think about with our squat, right? So if we have the barbell, same idea, same position, sitting back, down and back into that squat. Abs are braced. Let's do a few more here. We've got our last row. We're getting into our hinge. Hinge is next. We're not really taking breaks. Again, this is a little bit more of like a high, I would say a little bit more aerobic for a lifting session. So a little bit more of like a circuit, metabolic. We're not going super heavy. We don't need a lot of breaks, right? We're not lifting that heavy that we need to take these long rest periods. So different intention. You got to figure out what is your intention for class. All right, last time, whatever row you want to do, your gorilla row or your bent over row, up to you. So keeping my chin tucked in, abs are braced. This is going to be kind of like when we get into that deadlift next. We're going to do our Romanian deadlift, hinging at the hips. Should look kind of like this. And we'll do a press after our hinge. Last few here, really pull the shoulder blades. This needs to come from the back, pulling, not just biceps. Last few, in 4, in 3, in 2, in 1, hinge. So if you got a kettlebell, same thing. I'm gonna have the weights close to my shins. I'm hinging. Here, not here. It needs to be right here. Arms are straight, locked. This is my finishing. This is my start. I'm not here, arching the back. Tuck that booty under. You want to start nice and tall, or finish nice and tall. Start and finish. hinge, and up. So our hinge, our hip hinge, our deadlift, master this. We need this. We need this for life, picking things up, riding a bike, leaning over. So it's good to be able to clarify what is the difference between my hinge and my squat. So different things happening, a little bit more glutes, hamstrings, maybe a little bit more back. Our squat pattern, a little bit more quads, a little bit more front of the body, right? Both are good, both are valuable. Learn the difference. Abs need to be on, braced. So again, we're gonna do our hinge. And then I'm gonna give you two options for your press. You can do a military press as our superset, or we can just do an overhead goblet press. I'm gonna do the goblet, I'm gonna do the kettlebell. I like that one, but you have options. One more. So if you've got your dumbbells and you wanna come into a military press here, right? I like my goblet press. So I'm gonna come here. So again, kind of depends on, my upper body's not as strong also, so I like that one weight. Kind of depends on your shoulders, what you got. So press. Again, higher reps, especially if you got the lighter weights. And we're gonna go right back into that hinge after this. A lot of varieties of your overhead press, so you can kind of see what you got, and you gotta listen to your shoulders too. What position is gonna feel good on your shoulders? All right, back into that hinge. Shake it out if you need to. Shake the legs out. Make sure everything's feeling fluid. Again, rooting my feet into the ground. I'm going to grab my weights or my kettlebell. I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades back. I'm not here. Here, right? We did that in the beginning. Pinky toe, big toe, heel is planted, 3 points of contact. Eyes looking forward, chin is tucked in. Hinge, weights finishing mid-shin. They should kind of fall in line with that midfoot, close to the body. I don't want to be out here. Again, if you've got really light weights, sometimes this is also a little bit harder because they don't have really as much to pull on you. So it's hard to figure out, are you doing it right? So deadlift, most people should be able to do pretty heavy with this, right? Get the form down, and then once you feel confident, again, this is really light for me. So in theory, I should have a much bigger kettlebell, and then I would probably use this one for my overhead press. So you're gonna have to do different things, right? What you're able to lift with the lower body is probably not gonna be the same as your upper body. So I highly suggest get some dumbbells, get some kettlebells, get a little bit of variety, maybe get a little bit of heavier one to start off with, right? Anticipating that if you stick with this, you're joining me twice a week, or you're doing this twice a week at home, you're gonna need heavier eventually. Last few here, and we'll come back into that press, and we got one more set. One more. Trying to stay focused. Press, right? You decide which press you wanna do, right? This is actually a little bit too light for me, but again, you can add more volume. So if you really only have light weights, which I do here, I'm gonna go for a little bit higher reps, right? Eventually you want heavier weights because there's only so much time that you have to spend, right? So if you have to do 20 reps, it's gonna take a long time. Last few here, and then we'll do our last hinge. Stay focused. In 4, in 3, 2, 1 hinge, last time, perfect your hinge. I always suggest to my patients, if you're coming back from a lower back injury or you're working through some stuff, start light. Don't be scared of the deadlift. You need the deadlift. Again, this is a movement you're gonna have to do in life, and it's a great way to strengthen your back. Just start light, right? You got one little kettlebell, start with that. You're not gonna hurt yourself. Start with no weight. Practice, right? If you can't even get into the pattern because your back is hurting, please don't do it. But if you're just tentative, learn the movement pattern correctly, start light, and then add weights, right? Last set. We're gonna finish with a little bit of core stretch, done, that's it. Have class every week. Subscribe to the channel to get notifications of live classes. Friday is core. All right, last press. Again, you can do your military press. You got a lot of options for your press. We're gonna be on the ground, finishing out with our core and our stretch. Get it all in. Last few here. And push. So we gotta push, pull, press, hinge squat. Start off with our push-ups too. A little bit of core. I was adding core. Doesn't quite fit into that push, pull, press, but in my opinion, just as important. 2 more. 1 more. Again, let's come down onto the mat, core strength. We're just looking for some resilience. We want to support our body. Maybe you just want to get ripped abs. That's cool too. It's a win-win, right? Might as well get some defined abs, but also stabilize your back, be stronger in your sports, healthier as you get older. Keep that spine healthy. I'm going to be here. Let's do a dead bug. So I'm just going to hold the kettlebell. Pretty basic, right? We're not doing a ton at this point with the weights. Weights are kind of done. So if you don't have the weights, you want to drop them, that's okay. I want you to think about, this is my foundation movement here. So I need you to really kind of get the fundamentals down. So in other words, I want to have that lower back pressed firmly down the whole time. So as my toe taps, there is no space in that lower back crease, none. So the easiest way is if you added a weight, you're holding onto the weight, or you lift your head up, that's gonna help you push down that lower back. That's gonna help you do this correctly. So it's kind of nice to add that weight in because it gives you a little bit more support. So just a few more of these. And then we'll do a little bit of a press, a little bit of a crunch with our weights. And I might squeeze in a tiny bit of a bridge. We'll see. 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet down, shake it out. Legs are gonna come up. You're just gonna finish with a crunch, pressing the arms up, right? Back at it. Exhale. Again, you don't need the weights. I'm just giving you a little bit of extra, because why not? Might as well get some more upper body, arms in when we can. I always like to squeeze in a little bit of weights with our core work. Might as well, right? Get the most bang for your buck. Get a lot in 30 minutes. You should feel kind of a little sore. Even if you don't have heavy weights, we're squeezing a lot in today. 10 more. 10, 9, 8. Finish up. In 5, in 4, 3, 2, 1. Put the weights down. Let's just stretch. I thought I was going to add in something else, but I lied. Let's make sure we get a little bit of stretching and hug the knees into the chest. Rock the knees side to side. Again, I'm just going to guide you through this cool down. Modify as needed. Anything else that feels right for your body now is your chance. Hug the knees, rock them side to side. Give that lower back a nice little massage. Hopefully your lower back is feeling good, not strained. Again, focusing on your form always. Hug that right knee into your chest, roll the ankles and the toes around, wake up those feet, get them moving. Supple mobility in the foot, ankle, get it moving. Roll that hip around, release any tension in that hip, let it go, stretch it out. And then with your left hand, bring that right knee across your body. Find that position that just feels right to you, right? So what I want you to get out of this is no pinching in the front of the hip. I want you to find that angle where you're getting like a nice little booty stretch, little lower back. This should feel good, right? So you gotta kind of play with it, what feels right on your body. Everyone's built differently, so you might look different in this pose versus me, and that's totally fine. Opening that right arm out, give your chest a nice little stretch here, rib cage. Let the head go wherever it needs to go. Shake it out. Release any tension in the neck. Let it go. Slow down the breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Again, full body. Try to get in full body twice a week, at least. Teaching here twice a week. Good idea for you to do at home twice a week or in the gym. And then I do core work on Fridays. Again, core work, you can be added in anytime. More is definitely not a bad idea, right? At least getting in once a week. I do my class on Fridays. If you're not dealing with injury, it's just a good way to keep your body from not getting injured, right? If you are dealing with injury, maybe more. Reach through for thread the needle. This should feel like a nice hip opener. Again, lots of options here. Stretching out those hips, attaching to the lower back. This is a nice one for hips, low back. Most everybody likes this stretch. Again, you could just keep it here. You can also do pigeon pose, face down to get more deeper stretch. Hug it in, roll the shoulders out, release any tension. We're gonna do the same thing on the left side, and then that is it for today. Getting it all in 30 minutes. Release tension in the neck. Let it go, let it go. Last breath here. Let's switch sides. Unwrap that right leg. Shake that leg out. Shake, 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 shake. Hug that left knee in. Roll the ankles and the toes around again. Move them, move them, move them. Bring that hip around. Oh, yeah, do little hip rolls. Gotta do that. This side too. Roll it around. Little hip circles. All these joints, we want strength in our muscles. We want some supple, some nice healthy mobility in the joints. Keep them nourished. They need to move. That's how they stay healthy with age. And then bring that knee across your body. Healthy with age, healthy for your sports, etc. Open that left arm out. And then again, finding that angle that feels right on you. Head goes wherever it feels comfortable. Slowing down your breath. Inhale through the nose. And then exhale out through the mouth. Finish with our figure 4 stretch on the left side. And we are basically done after that. Come back to center whenever you're ready. Figure 4. Again, you can leave it here. You can do thread the needle. Whatever feels right to you, to your body. Reaching through. We're just gonna finish in seated after this. One more stretch, and that is it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to get notifications for all of my live class. I have tons of other core workouts, short little 10 minutes. I got the full body playlist. Check out those other workouts if you need some help. Roll the shoulders out, release tension, let it go. Let it go. Last breath here. Exhale out. Slowing the breath. Unwrap that left leg. Windshield wiper the knees side to side, nice and easy. Roll yourself onto your side. Coming up into seated. Sitting however you want to. You don't need to sit cross-legged. So if that's not comfortable, sit however you need to. All right. Let's just focus on that tall spine, nice posture alignment that we started off class with. Ears over shoulders. Take that cue with you. Tuck the chin in. Crown of the head to the ceiling. Elongate, lengthen through your spine. Inhale, reach to the sky. Get some length in your spine. Open it up. This should feel good. Exhale it out. One more time, and then that is it for today. Inhale, reach to the sky. Lengthen. And then exhale it out. That is it. Thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you got something good out of class. Take care of your bodies. Take care of yourself. I will see you next time. Have a good day.